Hi, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
The comic book discussion series where we take a comic book and break it down by the art and writing and let you know what we thought about it. Spidey #1 is the 7th retelling of Spider-Man's origin, but this time it's in continuity for real. Tiffany, what'd you think of Spidey #1?
Okay, I don't know what that meant, but...
Well, let me tell you. Marvel's been trying to... Okay, you know what, before we even get in the review, Marvel's been trying to make Spider-Man young and relevant probably since 1987. And they've been trying to, recapture a 10-year window when Spider-Man was young and hip.
Yeah.
And they have published numerous books to make Spider-Man young and relevant for young readers. There was Ultimate Spider-Man, which was huge and successful, but there were other books like Untold Tales of Spider-Man, which was written by Kurt Busiek, and it was like a look back. It was between the issues of the old Amazing Fantasy and Amazing Spider-Man books.
Oh.
And that was kind of neat. There was also Marvel Adventure Spider-Man, which was an all-ages comic book for Spider-Man, out of continuity. There was also Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, which is another out-of-continuity, young Spider-Man and Mary Jane. And there's also, of course, the comic book adaptation of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show, which is yet another young version of Spider-Man. Oh, and not to mention also Chapter 1, which was their attempt at retconning Spider-Man, and they made a big deal of it after the Clone Saga. Hey, we're retconning Spider-Man, we're just going to clean up a couple of continuity errors, and a couple of issues that we have, maybe make them a little younger, we're just going to see where it goes. And everyone outright rejected it.
Oh.
And that was the last time that they tried to outright change Spider-Man's history through a retcon. This is a Trojan horse retcon, in which they're like, this is an in-continuity, all-ages, fun, hip Spider-Man title that tells you the olden days of Spider-Man. Except that those are called the first 60 issues of Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
And we all know you can't just reprint those, except they did that back in the 80s. But, we can't just reprint old comic books and then give them to you or sell them to you and expect kids to want to read that, apparently. So, here's a young, new, modernized version of Spider-Man.
Okay.
That also changes the continuity of current Spider-Man.
Oh.
There are several continuity changes that are glaring that just completely shift the whole book.
Oh.
Yeah. Harry and Gwen are in high school with Spider-Man in this book, as you might have noticed.
Yeah.
He meets them in college.
Oh.
And there's a number of other issues that I was like, Uncle Ben is killed in his home, not on the street, like the last two movies.
Oh.
It's just a lot of random shifts, and while I'm not 100% against the idea of updating or modernizing him, since I was so against Ultimate Spider-Man and then was proven so wrong by how great that series was, I don't trust this creative team to give us a good retcon.
I thought it was Ultimate Spider-Man meets Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, the cartoon meets the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but read this voice like Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the hell
From Drake and Josh.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's what I think of him as.
I know.
That's the voice I heard.
That's my least favorite Spider-Man voice.
I know, but Quip, they definitely try to.
Oh, they want to. Well, they're basically
make him a Quip machine.
Well, they're like, look, we're not going to stop Dan Slott from doing whatever he's doing. Quip, zingers. They're not going to stop Dan Slott from doing whatever he's doing with Spider-Man.
Right.
But they can go behind his back and make this, where Spider-Man's young and hip and relevant, even though he's like a 30-year-old speed racer in the new Spider-Man book. People are like, this is not my Spider-Man.
Right.
And because it's taking forever and a day for Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man to be pulled into the 616 Marvel Universe on his own book, we have this.
Oh.
Because Miles Morales is going to be in the new, in the all-new, all-different Marvel Universe.
Okay.
He's already made a couple of appearances in a number of other books, to a lot of acclaim, but he's getting his own title soon.
Okay.
But apparently we can't wait that long, and we got to get this retcon.
Okay. They're making nods to the past. They're not just ignoring it entirely.
Well, they have to reference the past, because that's what makes him who he is.
No, I know. I don't mean the, not, and I don't mean the Uncle Ben thing, and I don't mean Gwen. I mean, the villain lineup.
Yes. Yeah, that is old. Well, yeah, but that's also part of his upbringing, is these are the villains that he fought back then.
Right, but they didn't completely ignore it.
No, it's true.
Well,
they can't.
And they could have.
Yes.
And to be fair, it's funny because it's an origin story, but they really wrap up the origin in one page.
Well, that's how I feel you should wrap up his
which I thought
origin.
was interesting because it's like, this is the first book. They could have just done the origin.
Yes. Well, they don't want to do that because they don't want you to... I think it's because they don't want you to think about it as a reboot. They want you to think about it as a fun, hit-the-ground-running comic book starring Spider-Man. That's why he's using cell phones, and he's making hashtags, and he's doing incredibly cementing in time references, so that you can, A, never extrapolate it from the time it's being written, but B, you also are seeing it as it's happening now.
Right.
But also make Spider-Man young now.
Yeah.
So now when you're reading Amazing Spider-Man, he's not like 29, 30, he's more like 21.
You know what's so funny? Cell phones are literally so a part of every moment of our lives.
Yes.
And yet,
it's so jarringly obvious in this book.
Painfully aware of it. I was like...
Yeah, I'm very aware you're using a cell phone.
Yeah,
because you're trying to make it now.
That's what it was. It wasn't natural.
No. I've seen it done naturally. Like Spider-Man using a cell phone.
Yeah.
Even in the movie. The new one.
Yeah.
Where he uses it to talk to Aunt May and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, that works.
Yeah. You know what I was really surprised by?
No.
Like, legitimately surprised by? I was surprised by the, Aunt May's age. I don't
even know what age they were even going for.
Oh, she's much older, I assume, but, I thought they were gonna maybe make her younger.
Yes.
Like, I really thought
that's one of the things I was expecting them to do.
And they didn't do that. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think that... I honestly don't think there's a clear creative direction or editorial direction for this book. I think they're just like, have fun and make it, new. Like, just do whatever.
Right.
That said, what'd you think of Bradshaw's art? I thought it was, kinetic and fun, consistent.
It was fun. For me, Spider-Man books almost always have, a look.
Yes.
So this definitely has a look. Writing-wise, he was quippy. Sometimes it seemed like it was a little over the head.
I like that.
I know.
So I was okay with that.
I like it too sometimes, but I don't know. This, every once in a while I was like, nah, alright, whatever. Who cares?
Well, because when you throw, 100 strikes... Eventually, someone's gonna hit it.
Yeah.
He's trying them all.
I know. I know.
But what you do is, as a writer, you try them all on a person.
Yeah.
And then you keep the ones that get a reaction.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unless you subscribe to the idea that Spider-Man's only doing it because he's trying to deflect his nervousness and fear. In which case, he's just doing it because he can't stop himself.
Oh, no, right. No, I get it. I meant just, literally...
It does, no. An overly quippy Spider-Man is no good. But a non-quippy Spider-Man is also no good. You gotta find that ground.
No, I want quips. I want quips. So I'd rather have this.
Yes.
Than no quips. And they definitely did the thing that I know that you like, where he has a quick fight with a villain right at the beginning of the book.
Yes, we open it with a villain fight, and then we establish Spider-Man's character. That's White Rabbit.
It's so funny because I was like, all right, whatever, bunny chick.
Yeah.
That's cool. I just like the fact that they didn't introduce her at all.
No.
But, if you know her, you know her. You don't, who cares?
You get it.
She's an animal.
She's robbing a bank.
She's an animal-based villain. Of course she's in a Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
Who cares? And I'm like, you're right, I don't care.
Right, I don't.
You're right, brain, thank you.
You're right. Oh, he's already defeated her.
The only thing that I thought was really funny was how hard she worked on the top part of her costume.
Yes. And then
shorts.
Yeah. And it's and shorts.
It was I know, it's so stupid. I know that's stupid. But, I was like, that's a funny character thing.
Yeah.
I worked really hard. I got a little vest. I got a jacket. I got my little bow tie. Got my bunny ears.
She had little lapels as well, little cuffs.
Yeah, she got the whole 9 yards.
Yep. And then shorts.
And then shorts with a bunny tail. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
I guess overall, I know for you, you're coming from this.
For me, it's you gotta work 110% to win me over on this kind of thing. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. But you're we have two very differing opinions on this couch. For me, I was like, okay, this is fun.
Right.
It's definitely I definitely feel like the modern times creeping in on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's in a good way necessarily.
Well, it's not even necessarily good or bad. For me, it's more do we even need it? Who's asking for yet another retelling of Spider-Man's youth?
I think Marvel is...
I know Marvel's looking for it, but they're gonna get it with their effing movies. For me, when you do it again, and then again, you're just exercising redundancies. And if it's not gonna be the best book you can possibly put out, then there's really no reason to do it.
Right.
But you know what? Look, the reality is I get it. I get that, there's a lot of new readers who like it.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of praise for this book. good for you. I'm glad that you're getting into Spider-Man. Go back, read old books, and get more into Spider-Man. That's that's the idea.
Well, it's interesting though. This book and at least Doctor Strange both had a 1-page telling of their origin.
Yes.
And then we just get into the book where like these characters are more
have been already established.
Yeah, they're established and they're modern, but
yeah,
I just think that's interesting. Like they are, at least with these two, because I know when we read Moongrown Devil Dinosaur, it was all origin. It's all new.
Yeah.
And I don't really recall in Spider-Woman her having an origin
story. There was no real origin like page.
But these two books, in my opinion, then are definitely striking out with the all new, all different.
Yes,
like,
they're
in
trying.
A sense,
yeah,
they're trying. They're definitely like it may not be all different, but they are definitely trying to be new and bring in new readers.
Yes, they're trying to be relevant.
Yes, exactly.
And I think they're succeeding.
Yeah.
Well, at least the others are. I don't know. This is gonna have to work harder for me to convince me that it's relevant.
Right.
But I mean, here's the thing: it's not relevant to me. It might be relevant to you as a new reader, or to a lapsed reader, somebody who's looking to get into Spider-Man and doesn't want to deal with all the baggage. This is obviously the Spider-Man for you. If you don't want, if you want Peter Parker with no baggage, this is the book to get and get on the ground floor.
If you don't want to worry about him, having been married and then unmarried.
Yeah, if you don't want to listen to that.
Or you don't want to hear about that, or the fact that, like, the girl he was in love with, banged a goblin guy
and then
had
two
kids
children.
that didn't really. And
yeah.
Then, you're going to really like this.
Yeah, you're going to like this, because it doesn't make any reference to it whatsoever, and maybe they'll retcon all those decisions out.
It could.
But if you're just on the cusp of picking this book up, or if you are finally on the ground floor, I recommend you pick it up. It's in the description box down below this video. You can click the link and get the digital version. It's available for you guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Bye.